Hey folks, this is back from Zeplin. I'm one of the co-founders. I'm going to walk you through how we handle design versioning in Zeplin because it is quite different compared to how it's done in design tools like Figma. Okay, here I have an empty project in Zeplin, so let's start by publishing some designs from this Figma file and select them and use the plugin to export them over to the project. It should take a couple of seconds, and here we are. The screens are in. Now, whenever I click into one of the screens in Zeplin, on the left-hand side, you will notice that we displayed a version number. Whenever you click that, you get to the versions panel. This is where all the changes to this screen are going to be listed. But we have no changes, so let's switch back to Figma. Close the plugin, make a change. For the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to make this text bigger. And whenever I make this change, obviously it is visible to everyone else in Figma. But if I go back to Zeplin, the text is still small. And this is actually by design. We want you to have more control over when to publish your changes. So when we were thinking about how to handle versioning in Zeplin, we took a lot of inspiration from developer tools like Git, where developers have control over when to commit and push their code. This is when people can see and review them. And it's exactly how it works in Zeplin. So I'm going to go back to Figma. Whenever I make all my changes and I'm ready, I select my frames again and I export them again. And this is when the new version in Zeplin is going to start to appear. But before we go there, I also wanted to quickly talk about the commit message. Here you can explain what has changed, especially if you have a bunch of different changes that you made. In this case, I'm just going to say make text bigger. And this commit message is going to be visible in Zeplin, in notifications like Slack messages, and also even email notifications as well. Okay, now when we switch back to Zeplin, you can now see that we have a very clean version history with the commit messages instead of a long list of autosaves. And I also quickly wanted to show you this feature that says show differences. Whenever you enable this, it actually highlights the differences that have happened in this latest version. And if I click on one of these highlighted layers, you can see that exactly the font size here has changed from 16 to 24. Okay, now I also wanted to show you that if you go back and select one of these other screens, you will notice that it just has one version. And this is also on purpose. When you make a change in Figma, actually the version that appears is for the entire file. Whenever you go change a small layer in one page, a new version appears for the same file. So especially if you have multiple people working on the same file, you just start to get more and more version. It just becomes very unbearable. In Zeplin, each screen has its own version history, so it makes it a lot easier for people to come in and look at individual changes that happen to these different screens. So those are the two major differences between how Zeplin handles versioning and how design tools like Figma do. So I'm going to leave our Discord channel link down below. If you have any questions, any feedback about this stuff, please come in there and let us know. And yeah, hope this was helpful. Thank you.